Te rere ki tōku mā kau, ka eke panuku, ka eke kongaro.
All right, are we ready to try this thing? Hi, welcome to the 13th floor. I'm Marty Duda, and today we have with us Aro.
Kia ora.
Greetings, guys.
Greetings.
And you, I'm assuming that you must be Charles.
Yes.
And you must be Emily.
That's right.
And you're a married couple
Yep.
with a third on the way.
Yep.
Yay. And you're going to play some songs for us. You're going to tell us about what you've been up to and what you're going to do. So,
Cool.
What have you been up to? How's the lockdown been treating you?
Yes, lockdown was good for us.
Yeah.
Up until last year, we were living in a van for about 2 years, and so we were really thankful that it was this year and not last year.
Right.
Because living in a van in a lockdown might have been a tricky thing.
It could have been, yeah.
But we had a 20-show tour booked through April, which obviously was cancelled, with Arts on Tour actually. So we were gutted about that initially, but fortunately we were able to do a virtual tour instead through that time and use that month or two for a lot of creative, writing and stuff at home, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And speaking of creating, have you been using the time creatively in the lockdown?
Yeah, I actually challenged myself to write a song a day through
Whoa.
lockdown, which was kind of more for my solo
Right.
project under Emily
Yeah.
Rice, but we did some stuff as Aro as well.
Yeah, we recorded an EP at home.
Yeah.
And with help from our mate Vivek Gabriel, who's a really good friend of ours.
And a single as well.
And a single. Oh yeah, and we did a single. The single we did ourselves. And I was stoked about that. You could tell that I did it myself, but it still did well, and people really enjoyed it. And so and so we were happy to put out something else that not only just audiences but our schools. We
Right.
did like a school resource attached to it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. And you've already sung songs for us, which we're going to hear in a few minutes. And no English was spoken during that, so it's all in
The second song there was a little bit.
There was a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
So is that obviously a choice that you've made?
Yeah, so being the Maori Pākehā combo that we are, we try and write using
Bilingually,
our native languages, I guess, which mine is English, his is Māori. So that's usually how it works. But for this funding we got from Creative New Zealand, which supported this project, we were recording through the lockdown or just after. One of the things we'd said was that we'd write the whole thing in Māori. So so that was interesting.
Yeah, to making the language accessible, but also like it's heavily influenced by a lot of whakatauki, Māori proverbs.
Yeah.
And so making that accessible or easy to possibly begin understanding for some of our tamariki, from some of our young people in our schools. Yeah.
Very cool. So we're going to hear 3 songs, and the first one is called
Kōtuku.
Kōtuku.
Which is the song we were just talking about before we wrote during lockdown. Yeah. So the kōtuku is a bird, and it's the white heron, right?
Yep.
And it's apparently a bird that you're not likely to see more than once in your life. It's not a very common bird.
Yeah, there's a saying that goes here, kōtuku rere ngā tahi, which basically means if you see a kōtuku flying, you'll probably only that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. You probably won't see that again in your life, and if you do, choice, wow. But it's even hard to spot them when they're not flying, so to see one flying is quite a significant thing. And so it was written about COVID, and that we hope that we just see it once and then appreciate all the stuff that happened during that lockdown, like getting to know our neighbours, lending a hand, putting together food banks, and that we take that from it, and by that we adorn ourselves, I suppose, in the feathers of the kōtuku that went by. And kōtuku feathers are quite highly regarded in Te Ao Māori.
Well, let's listen to the song then, man.
E hara, e nei āhuatanga ka ki te iara, ko te tūmanako nā te puku mahi ngātahi. E momo hanga ngā mahara, ki e ne wā, ka rongo i ngā rohi. A koe tai waihuna ana i te oto ta āwhina atu ki te tohungia. Hākina, hāputa, nā wai, ka kake ki te rangi. He kōtuku, rere ngā tahi, o nā awe kua waiho iho. Hei piki kōtuku kia kaha, ki te rere ngā tahi. Hei piki kōtuku. ana ki te rerenga ka ki te ko te wawata ka pumau ki te aroha noa kua puta I tēnei wā a whānau, a hapu, a iwi, a hapori a whenua Hakina, hapata, nā wai, ka kake ki te rangi. He kōtuku, vere ngātahi, o nā awe kua waiho iho, he piki kōtuku kia kaha, ki te rere ngātahi, Hei piki kōtuku Hei piki kōtuku Tuturu whakamaua kia tina Honey e hui e Vai ki He kōtuku, rere ngātahi, o nā awe kua waiho iho. He piki kōtuku kia kaha, ki te rere ngātahi, he piki kōtuku. Hei piki kōtuku
Okay, we're here at the 13th floor with Aro, and we've just heard the first song, which is called...
Kōtuku.
Thank you. Thank you for saving it, because it's just so embarrassing. Anyway, so you wrote that during lockdown.
Yep.
And the other two songs were written earlier, I'm assuming.
No.
Actually, no. The first one, yes. No, the second one, sorry. The first
second-
with the second two. Toho is the second song.
Yes?
And that one is part of one of the last track on our debut album, Manu, which we released last year.
Right.
Yeah.
And releasing an album in this day and age, how does it work for you guys? I mean...
Yeah.
On CD, believe it or
Yeah,
not.
we did on CD.
See, I believe you are correct. I've been predicting the resurgence of the CD for quite a while, and I've been laughed at left, right, and center. But
Yeah, every now
I'm
and then
hanging in there.
people would be like, oh, well, I've got nowhere to play this CD. I don't even have a CD player in my car anymore. But we were really surprised. We actually sold out of the first lot of CDs we
Yeah.
got, which was awesome.
Oh, that's good. How many did you press?
Was it
300
200 or 300?
300.
Yeah. That's
And then we got another 200 pressed, I think.
Yeah, and those were kind of for the tour that didn't happen in April. So we've got
Right.
more CDs.
So you're ready to go.
Which will be at
Christmas
the folk
specials.
festival.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
also available on Spotify.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Folk Festival, which is
Yes,
kind of why we're here, which is
exactly.
happening January 29th to February 1st, I
That's
believe.
right, we're so excited.
And it's got a pretty cool lineup. Troy
Yeah.
Kenny's on there, and
Yeah.
Delaney Davidson, and the Eastern, and Being, and all those
Yeah.
folks. So what is it like for you guys to be a part of that thing?
Yeah, we're stoked. We've had we've done tours around the country for the last couple of years, and I've had a surprising number of people
Recommend.
shoulder tap us or tell us that we'd be a good fit at the folk festival, or and how great the festival is. So we haven't actually been before, and we're really looking forward to it, especially
Yeah.
considering the lineup too. I think just
Yep.
being able to enjoy it ourselves is going to be cool. Yeah.
I mean,
But,
I saw Troy when he played at the Hollywood here around. I don't know
Right.
if you've seen him
Yeah.
before, but man, he's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
yeah.
that's good enough for me to go.
Yeah,
And the
totally.
rest of it is frosting on the cake, as they say. All right, so the next song we're going to hear is,
Toho.
yes,
Yeah.
what can you tell me about it?
Toho is the silver eye. And actually the
Right.
term on its own. Oh yeah, so all our
Which is
songs
a
are
bird.
inspired by
Birds,
birds.
yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So the wax eye, the silver eye, or the white eye, apparently was an Australian bird at first, and its roots begin with like being blown over here by a storm.
Right.
And they eventually settled here to the point of even having their own name, of course.
Lucky
Until
it was more than one.
yeah. And that's kind of what the song talks about. It talks about how together we can make. Was it together they make a dream work? Is that what people say? Anyway, don't worry. That's just something that came up in my brain. But like going off what we were saying about the kōtuku, about acknowledging, kind of the good stuff that happened in COVID. We also are completely aware of how it wasn't good at all for some people. And so Toho, I suppose, speaks to that, and that the opening line is Kei koneo, which means I am here, I am here. And it's the whole making ourselves available to those who need help. And it's not telling them, there's the kind of help where people don't ask for, but then there's also just making yourself available. It's like, if you need anything, just let me know. And so Toho's about navigating the storms with each other.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Let's give it a listen.
Kei koneo, kei konei aho, kei koneo, kei konei aho, kei koneo, kei konei aho, kei koneo, kei konei aho. The silver eye led me to the stream, told his friends, watch over me. He said, let's talk about the way you walk, about what's been happening. Sometimes the wind of the storm takes us somewhere we don't wanna go. If it's paradise on the other side, we don't wanna know. Breathe in, breathe out, yeah. The sun is shining on your face on the other side. I tried to hide my world inside of what's been happening. You said, let's talk about the way you walk. Don't hide at all from me. You never asked for any of this, but here I am. Sometimes the wind of the storm takes us somewhere we don't wanna go. If it's paradise on the other side, we don't wanna know. Breathe in, breathe out, yeah. The sun is shining on your face on the other side. Ooh. On the other side. 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 You never asked for any of this, but here I am. You never asked for any of this, but here I am. Sometimes the wind of the storm takes us somewhere we don't wanna go. If it's paradise on the other side, we don't wanna know. Breathe in, breathe out, yes. The sun is shining on your face on the other side. Kei koneo, kei konei aho, kei koneo, kei konei aho, kei koneo, kei konei aho, kei koneo, kei konei aho.
Okay, we're here at the 13th floor with Otto. We've heard a couple of tunes. We're going to hear one more, but we got to hear about the baby and the tour and everything else we've been talking about. So, say yes. What have you got planned? And I can see you have something planned in the
Yeah,
next
there's a
few
little
months.
something in here, but so we are usually we do a campground tour. This we've done it for 3 years, an annual campground tour, but that's over this little summer period. But this year we've got 4 festivals at the end of January, February, so we kind of thought, let's just actually chill out, have a break, which is really nice.
Good idea.
So we're doing that, and then into all the festivals and things, and then we've got a new project paired with a tour coming out in spring. So September next year we'll be touring again. We've just started locking all the dates in. and we will have a 6-month-old baby with us.
Yes, you will.
point.
That'll be fun, won't it?
Yeah. So that should be
Just
interesting.
bring them along. That's what you do.
Yeah,
I mean, my first daughter, I think she was at concerts at like within 4 or 5 months.
Good. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I like hearing those.
She was a
kind
big
of stories.
Jonathan Richman fan.
Nice.
Well, but yeah, and and you also do your own solo thing.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to talk about that in front of him?
Yeah, of
Okay.
He's my biggest supporter. Actually.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah, I just released my first single off a new project called Oaha, new EP that's coming out in, well, I said February, but I just got some funding, and so I don't know, maybe it'll be sometime in the early new year.
Okay.
But it's kind of moving in a more electronic kind of dance kind of vibes. My stuff's been quite folky before and jazzy, and I've still got lots of those kind of elements in there. But yeah, it's all the songs I wrote through lockdown. Well, 6 of the songs that I wrote.
Yep.
And I'm really excited about getting some of my own solo stuff out there again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds like it's all happening. So we got one more song to hear.
Yeah.
Yes, this is Kuaka.
Kuaka. So
Kuaka.
going along with the narrative of the 2 songs we sang earlier.
Yep.
Kuaka is about, well, the saying is ka rere tōtika te kuaka, and a kuaka is our God witpu, for those who are listening. But it pretty much translates roughly to the kuaka only flies direct, doesn't make any stops.
Yeah.
All
It
right.
just,
And
it
the
just,
Kuaka is what recently we heard it, I think the longest, it does one of the longest, what are those called? Flights. Navigation
Yeah,
flights?
okay.
What is it?
migration.
Migration,
Sorry,
that's it.
I was like, what is that word? And it's like 12 days or something non-stop.
Man, you got to get hungry in
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah,
Do you eat
well,
bugs
they-
while they fly or what?
No, they eat their weight like ×3 before they take off,
have the
and
meal
then
feast.
they're completely obviously starving
They must
by the
start
time they
quite
land, but they just
slow,
burn it all out.
Imagine that, like
Yeah.
flying with that much
But it's
excess luggage.
it talks about pretty much just keeping the main thing the main thing.
Yeah.
Realizing what's important and not trying to stray too far away from that. Which is people as far as we're concerned.
Fair enough. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for coming around here and doing this for us. We'll see you at the Folk Festival.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll look for more new music from you.
Awesome.
Me.
Thanks, buddy.
Ka tiro ake ki tua o ngā hau e puhi nei e kawe a I a hau ki te pai tā whiti marunga u e nuku marunga te tū manako a kawe au e ngā hau nei I te au I te pō ka eke panuku, ka eke tangaroa, ka tika te rere, ka pā ki te rangi e ki rahe mama, e tai a te aha hoki he, koa hoki tini, ka eke noa, whai a te kahurangi, kia tata te pai tā whiti, paki paki ngā pākai, e re tōku ngā kau, ka eke panuku, ka eke tangaroa, ka tika te rere, ka paki te rangi, a tōna pā, ka tai ki uta, ka tika te rere, ka tai ki te whenua. E tika, te rere, te re, te rere, e tika, te rere, e toka te rere, e tika, te rere, tika, te rere, e tika, te rere, e tōku ngā kou, ka eke panuku, ka eke tangaroa, ka tika te rere, ka papa ki te